And hello, everyone. It's good morning for some of you, and for others, maybe not. It might be another time of the day, but welcome to the Restream Studio Gather at the Hearth. This is LinkedIn's new audio format, so whether you're hearing this live or via the recording, this is the way things are going to look and sound for our weekly audio program. And with this new format, you can use the chat window to say hello, make comments, or ask questions. We do welcome that interaction. I hope you're not only holding your own, but feeling empowered by any positive means necessary. For those of you who do not know me, I'm Terise Lang, and I'm an empathy fueled life, health, and wellness coach who uses custom tailored techniques, because no two people are alike, to empower professional women 40 plus who are over it, drained emotionally and physically because they take care of everyone and everything else but themselves. Working with me, they've been able to rebuild and maintain the same amount of empowering hope and energy at the end of the day that they began the day with. This is the way they go from just okay to hooray and drop excuses to brace exuberance in their lives. They win by taking one small, doable step at a time. So if you message me on LinkedIn, or let's see, if you can grab that complimentary wellness chat QR code you see at the bottom of your screen if you're looking at this recording or you're listening and looking, we can talk about your personal focus or goals and map out a plan of structure and ongoing encouragement to get you there. Once in a while, everybody benefits from having a cheerleader. And as a reminder, Gather the Hearth is a supportive and now recorded space where we come together weekly to encourage, motivate, inspire, and inform each other. People are pretty busy this year, so the day and time may vary. Because of the events occurring in our country, you know what I mean, I think it's more important than ever to stay in communication and check on each other just to make sure everyone's okay. We'll need to be more strategic in our business approach and work together as a community to empower each other as much as possible. And that brings me to today's Gather at the Hearth topic: empower yourself to say no guilt free, which is such a timely and relevant topic given the chaotic times we live in and the social conditioning that places unfair demands and stereotypes on women. Depending on whether you've heard Lisa on my show before, allow me to inform you or remind you of her background. Lisa is a stress master and leadership coach for women professionals and entrepreneurs who helps her clients shift from that feeling of overwhelm to empowered to scale their businesses without burning out, which is easy to do. Lisa stands out from the others with her diverse background in stress management coaching, her experience operating her own business, so she's been there, and experience in the corporate setting. With a Bachelor of Science in Occupational Therapy and a background in massage therapy, Lisa brings her holistic approach to her coaching practice using that background. And she's also certified in positive psychology coaching. What I know about Lisa is that she's what I call good people. You know, a genuine friendliness and eagerness to help others shows through all the exchanges I've had with her. So, Lisa, thanks so much for being on the show today. And we want to hear from you. So, the floor is yours.
Oh, thank you so much, Therese. It is my honor to be here. I have looked forward to this and I enjoyed the last time that I got to hop on your show. So thank you, thank you, thank you for inviting me.
You're most welcome. What can you tell us about the topic today? Because, boy, this is a biggie. I see
Yeah.
this a lot with women hesitating to say no. So please enlighten us.
I will do my best. So Therese, have you? I think most people have experienced the time when they felt uneasy right after they said yes to something, and then that gut feeling of why didn't I say no?
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, it's been a while, but yeah, sure, I have been
yeah,
through that.
yeah, everybody can be familiar with that. And you knew you didn't have the time, maybe the energy, or even the desire to do what you agreed to do, but somehow you said yes anyway. So many of us, particularly as women, are conditioned to believe that saying yes makes us kinder, nicer, more dependable, or even more caring. But the key to this is when we set boundaries that honor our values, we say yes to our time, our energy, and who we truly are.
Mm.
So today we're going to dive into 3 transformative goals that empower you to set boundaries without feeling guilty. Many sometimes we embrace that saying no is a way to prioritize what's most meaningful to us, knowing that it's okay to stand in your truth. So the first goal is to confidently make choices aligned with your values. So what I'm doing here is I'm going to help you take a look at saying no in a different way so that it helps you to say, I don't have to feel guilty about this. That's a choice. Um, Women entrepreneurs often face unique pressures to balance work and personal life. And we are strong. We're often the glue that holds everything together, our families, our friendships, our work space. And we love, care for, and nurture those around us deeply. So when we have a business and a family and a life, we're just multiplying our efforts times two. Without setting boundaries, this yes mentality can quickly lead to prioritizing other people's needs at the expense of our own personal time and well-being.
Lisa, if I can interrupt here for a second,
Yeah.
a lot of times in our childhood, right? Because our parents are trying to raise us right, and they'll tell us to be considerate of others, but they can kind of overdo it, you know. So you get
Mhm.
in the habit of making sure that that other person who's asking for what they need gets it first, and then because we're good kids, then we look at our needs. So go ahead.
That's exactly it. And for me, it was a generational thing. My family, my parents grew up in the Depression era. And so it was completely different than experiencing almost 100 years later this kind of concept. Um, Overgiving seriously has its real consequences. Constantly saying yes without setting aside time for personal needs can deplete our energy reserves and impact our physical and mental well-being. So this always on approach shifts away from essential self-care, growth, and creating a cycle of burnout and resentment.
Yeah, it's really, and it's really tough too, because if you're a responsible person, right, you want
Mhm.
to take care of the things that you're responsible for. And then if somebody asks you for something that's like within that zone, that your
Mhm.
responsibilities, well, yeah, I can fit that in, I can squeeze that in, I can shoehorn that in, and then you
Mhm.
find you have no room to breathe.
Exactly. And burnout is one of the top warning signs of high stress, and it's a common outcome of this cycle. So as a result, many women find themselves sacrificing their rest, their health, just exactly what you said, impacting their productivity and joy. We have gotten into this habit of we borrow from our own basic health needs. So we may stay up at night and we borrow from our sleep. We may skip a meal or not eat that away in a way that'll fuel ourselves, and we borrow from our physical health. So there's a lot of different habits that we get into that, oh, I can just push myself a little bit further, and that's why, I'm so anti-hustle mentality, because we're just borrowing from our own basic needs in order to function. But the good news is that reclaiming balance is possible through guilt-free boundaries. And it's to understand that setting up boundaries isn't selfish. It's our go-to practice that enables us to care for ourselves and show up fully for others. Being super clear about your values, what's most important, can help you make the best decision possible for you and for everyone else involved. So the second goal is to trust and delegate your team. And that's all about development of the confidence to ask for help and delegate tasks. Knowing that true strength lies in letting go of control and creating a supportive team. When we so sometimes they'll say, well, Lisa, I don't have a team. I don't have people that work for me. You always have a team. You have team family. You have team health. You have lots of teams. You have a lot of people that are in your support system. Teamwork may not necessarily mean people working for you. So it's okay to ask for help. And sometimes women will face a couple of different things in this, how guilt shows up in this goal. Fear of letting go of control is one of them. And is that something that you come across with your clients, Terise?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's also connected with trust, right? You have
Mm-hmm.
to build the trust, and they have to trust a couple of things. They have to trust the person who is offering the help or who can help, and they have to trust themselves to be able to discern that person.
Mm-hmm. And it can get frustrating because it's not going to be done exactly the way sometimes that you want it to be done. And I know that has frustrated some of my clients, that they're like, but they don't do it the same way, or even in my own business. However, that's okay, because they ended up bringing to me, they brought in a whole new way of me looking at something. I didn't have to stay in that rigid way of, well, it won't be done right unless I'm micromanaging.
I worked with people like that. It wasn't fun.
Uh-uh. No, not at all. And sometimes I've talked to women and told me they feel guilty about, um, if they delegate something, they're not working hard enough. And they're working smarter is what they are if they delegate. And it's a matter of like, I can let go. It's okay for me to let go. It's okay for me to ask for help, and it's okay to receive that support.
I'm sure this is resonating with our audience. I don't see anything in the chat yet, but I'm sure that they can relate to a lot of what you're saying. And I noticed that a lot of times when you do, let's say you offer someone help, like you're not all stressed out, and you say, hey, I can help you with that.
Mhm.
Sometimes it's met with suspicion.
Yeah.
Why are you being so nice to me? Oh
Yeah,
my gosh.
exactly. Exactly.
Because in this case, I can actually do something to help, and I'm standing here. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Or or they you tell them, hey, I've done that kind of work. I can help you with that or whatever. And
Mhm.
even if you show them like an example, because I understand, like for professional work, they don't want something that looks clunky or that erodes their brand at all. So you show them,
Mhm.
look, I've done this kind of thing, so I don't mind giving you some tips. Um,
Mhm.
why? Why?
Mhm.
I don't have some nefarious deed in mind. I just happen to believe that we are all stronger together when we get out of that you or me mentality, that super competitive thing, because it's we can do a better job of supporting each other. Oh, Tara Banks, thank you for one thing, Tara, for being here. And she says, yes, it
Yay.
is. You're describing me perfectly.
Hi, Tara.
So yeah, so people can relate to this, and there is that, if you want something done right, you do it yourself. Well, yeah, some things. And see, that's the thing, discerning. Some things really are just for you to do because that's your specific. You're in your zone. But the other stuff that other people can do to help you with that, it's not that
Mhm.
they're saying, "Oh, you're helpless, and let me help you because you're pitiful, you're pathetic." They're saying, "Hey, I see you're kind of struggling here because you're juggling too many balls in the air. You have too
Mhm.
much on your plate. The food's falling off. It's on the floor.
I
You
love
know, let's
that.
you know let's work together, and everybody enjoys their meal, and nobody has to clean up like that." So, um, you know.
That's great. Yeah, and that's exactly it, and this we can end the divisiveness as women.
Yeah,
We can bond together. We have so much in common, and we are so much stronger together than we are by ourselves. And there's so much to talk about. I mean, we have similar approaches, but we do two different things, but yet we support each other.
absolutely. And
You know?
that is how it works best. It really, and it has been fulfilling and
Mhm.
enhanced my joy. I mean, that's what happens. You don't get destroyed because you you let somebody to help you or you worked with someone.
Mhm.
You actually formed an alliance, right? A positive alliance.
Yeah.
And that's always a good thing, and yeah, some people aren't quite the fit. I guess, what they do is a
Mhm.
completely different area, but even then you can say, well, why don't you, like I've invited people to come on the show if I feel like it will benefit the health and wellness of my audience, or
Mhm.
give them some ideas for that balance of self-care and business.
Mhm.
If I feel it will help them, it's like, yeah, I'm not a financial expert, but I bring them on here if they
Mhm.
have time saving things and things to watch out for, to take the stress of financial stuff off of them, right?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. There's so much information and so much expertise to go around that we can be a collective and support each other and be strong together.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and the third goal kind of goes into what we've been talking about is honor your own needs first. And then that is about shifting your focus to honoring your happiness and well-being, understanding that you can only truly support others when you're fulfilled and balanced.
Mm.
So many times that the belief of of someone might be others' happiness comes before our own. And that's sometimes a really hard thing to discern, especially, for example, if you're a caregiver. You care for an elderly parent, or you care for someone and support them in their chronic health. So there are some variances of this. However, it's important to make sure those things that we've borrowed from, those things that we have taken from our own health, our sleep, our rest, our relaxation, our doing the things that make you feel whole and together and centered in your body. Um, those are the things that we get to replenish as we go along. Um, so other so being able to discern and take a look at, am I getting enough rest? Am I sacrificing myself? I think that the whole other theme that I talk about in this is our choices to self-sacrifice and to sacrifice our own needs and doing it on a consistent basis. Not maybe, every once in a while it's like, okay, I could help and it's okay. However, it's like doing that as a practice can be saying, you know what, everybody else's happiness comes before mine.
Tara's comment is, you can't pour from an empty cup. You have to take care of yourself so you can take care of others. Thank you for that, Tara.
Yeah, thank you, Tara, because especially when you've got littles. She has two littles. Um, and, the other part of this is the pressure to be liked or accepted. And that's a challenge for a lot of us.
I mean, because when we're honest about it, I mean, people don't want to be disliked by everybody. That's not fun. Yeah, it's not
Mhm,
enjoyable.
mhm.
But people who really care about you accept who you are. And sometimes you're a person who has to draw boundaries so that you don't burn yourself out like a candle. I mean, It doesn't,
Mhm.
doesn't mean and Tara says, "Oh my gosh, yeah." It's true. I mean, you sometimes you just, you can't be Miss Nicey Nice all the time. Oh my goodness, Tara says she has 2 kids, has a business, and working on a degree. You go, lady, you go. I have
That's what I
nothing but
say.
admiration for you. Um, and I'm telling you, it's true. You want to be nice to my first inclination. I reach out to people. My first inclination is, oh, I mean, like if I had it my way, because I'm just an extrovert. That's true. I'm an extrovert. And
Mhm,
if I had it my way and things weren't so crazy and dangerous and strange these days, I mean, I would be inviting people over to my house all. Yeah, why don't you come over and have a cup of tea? And I
mhm,
mean, that's the way I am. But I
mhm,
can't do that. I have to be discerning. And
mhm,
when people come to my door for the 90th time with something that I've told them I'm not interested in, after a while, I just don't open the door.
mhm,
Because there's no benefit to it. They already have the information. I've already expressed my needs,
mhm,
and they should respect my request for them not to bother us. So
mhm,
that doesn't make me a bad person.
mm,
When you're right with God and when you're not. That's
mhm.
we have that conscience inside of us. So go ahead.
Exactly. I mean, it's saying no is a full sentence.
I
It
love it. I love it. I love that. Saying no is a full sentence.
Uh-huh.
Ladies, please hear that. Please hear that. And it doesn't make, I mean, you're expressing your needs, or you're expressing something that you can or cannot do. And it's okay to do that. I just love that. Yeah, I'm gonna steal that. But go ahead.
That's fine. Spread it around because, absolutely. You know, the other thing that happens, when we talked a little bit about this, but losing sight of your own needs, you lose who you are. You
Mm.
become what everybody else makes you. In that sense, we may feel torn between what others expect and what we truly need, and then we disconnect from who we really are, our true, authentic self. So the outcome of saying no is placing our needs first. And that is building genuine connections based on respect. By saying no, we foster relationships where people value us for who we are, not just what we can give. And this allows for a deeper, more authentic connection rooted in a mutual respect and understanding. Um, it's not because I'm going to come talk to you because I want something, you know? It's about it's about building a relationship like I truly care about how another human being is doing, or how, especially in these times. Um and how are you feeling, and comforting and supporting, I think is truly important. So it's about developing relationship, not to see what we can get. Um And I know, and sometimes that's not people's true intentions, but if we give our out who we are to everybody else and they get to define who we are,
Mhm.
then we just lose sight of who we are. So gaining that genuine respect makes a difference.
In other words, we could lose our sense of self, which is critical.
Absolutely. And it gets real, and that's where overwhelm comes in. It's if you're not clear about your strengths and what your values are and what's most important to you, then you lose sense of yourself and can feel overwhelmed.
Mhm.
And the outcome of no also is reclaiming personal power and self-worth. And so prioritizing your own needs affirms that you don't need to seek approval or bend over backwards to be liked. You are already enough. You were born already enough. And saying no allows you to stand in your own power truth and authenticity. The magic is that you're present. And I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, and I can see some people saying, but I don't want to be selfish. I can see one, my pastor says, don't be selfish.
Mm-hmm.
And I forget what I was going to say with the other thing, but it's like, so, or people say, well, isn't that self-centered? So
Mm-hmm.
what do you say to that? Now, this is not how I feel, but I can just see that coming. Because right, everyone's so selfish these days. Well, there's selfishness and then there's self-care, and that's two
Yeah.
different things.
I wrote a blog post about that, and it isn't selfish to have self-care. I think that what we don't realize is where we spend our time. And we may have time to like do something with somebody and support them and help them in some way, but we might be too busy scrolling. We might be spending a whole lot of time on things that aren't aligned to our values.
Yeah.
And so it shifts how you look at self-care being selfish, in that where is it that our time goes? Where is it that our energy goes? And a lot of times when I have clients do that, it's like it's a big surprise. Like, I didn't realize I was doing a lot of time doing this or doing that. When we're able to bring in people into our business, and this is how I looked at it when I had my wellness practice, was that if someone joined the team, that they were able to um, they gained employment. They gained employment and they provided care that was so important for my mission in being able to carry out the business. So as I brought on more people and hired more people, it was that they were actually, by delegating, by not taking over everything, it allowed them to have business and allowed them to have a job. And I was able to do more in helping other people or helping other people in the community. So it was rather a reframing of it not being selfish, because a lot of times we're not present in what we're doing or what we choose to do, what leading an intentional life.
Absolutely. Tara said, uplift people with positivity. I like doing that, I have to say.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the reasons why I get up in the morning. When you can, because some people are grieving or going through something very, very painful. And
Yeah.
so, you don't want to get into toxic positivity. Oh, go ahead and smile no matter what, it's,
Yeah.
you know, you have to
Exactly.
use some judgment, but yeah,
Mhm.
I do. It does make a difference to uplift them with positivity. Maybe that's all you have time to do, but hey, it's a contribution. But go ahead, please. I'm listening to every
Yeah.
word.
Yeah. So yeah, and I love that, because being kind doesn't take very much. And it's our intention. It's our intention that we give the world. And just uplifting one person could spread to them uplifting to another person. So you never know how far whatever words that you say to help support people will go to support many other people.
I call it the ripple in the people pond. Because,
Oh, that's awesome. I love that. And that's exactly it. Because you don't know, but it's just like if it's coming straight from your heart and there's no strings attached, that's it's beautiful.
yeah, and empowering.
Very empowering. Very empowering. And it's not like there's internal power and there's external power, and they are definitely two different things. It's not power over, it's power within.
Yeah. There's a difference between a, a dictatorship and someone who, like a good manager. A good manager, you can tell a good manager when they're people keep getting promoted and developing and innovating in a company. And it's funny because a lot of managers will think, well, I want the credit and I'm going to show what I can do. And they even try to take credit from the people who work for them. But a good
Mhm,
manager is not happy with that. A good manager wants their people to trust him, to
mhm,
grow, to develop. And then, the smart manager will say, look at the people that I've worked with, look at my team. They are growing and expanding and the retention level, they always talk
mhm,
about retaining good employees or good contractors, whatever the
mhm,
relationship is. That's always improved when people feel like, oh, I'm being acknowledged for what I do. And when I take some of that work from, let's say the manager has something they need to delegate, and I've taken that work from them and made the manager look good. I mean, it's like it can't nobody looks bad. The manager
mhm,
looks good, the people who then get a raise or a promotion or even just a big acknowledgement in front of the company, that
mhm.
everybody is served. Everybody.
Yes. And we don't know what kind of gifts someone truly has until you delegate, because then they get to carve out who they are within the corporation and get to develop their own brand.
Yeah.
And that's what separates them from, it's something that they specialize in or something they can do. And if we're, as an owner, a business owner or a leader, doing everything, we're not allowing those gifts to develop within the people that we work with.
Yeah.
So,
You know what else though?
yeah.
And I'm thinking on a personal level, family. Like you can have a big
Mhm,
family and then the needs are, it's like it's not that one person has a lot of needs or whatever. You have several people.
mhm,
And if you're at a certain, let's say you're the money maker in the family,
mhm,
and then everyone expects everything from you because you're
mhm,
the money maker or whatever the expectation is.
mhm,
And so that's that pressure. You
mhm,
know, well, you're skilled at such and such, and everyone depends on you. Well, sometimes, yeah, they might depend on you for that particular skill, and they might have to find someone else to take that because you're working on something else. That's more difficult because it's personal, it's family.
mhm.
And some people use that family card, let's face it, as it's a manipulation sometimes.
Yes,
Right.
absolutely. And, it's like, oh, you're the one that makes the money, so you should, expecting, it's the difference between empowered mindset and a victim mindset.
Yeah.
And that kind of might be blunt, but um, there is some spectrum in that, of looking at empowering other people to do things for themselves, but they do want something for you to take care of something, and that's a real been there, done that, got a silk suit, and that's a real difficult situation to be
Yeah.
in.
Yeah.
So, boundaries, the thing that to kind of pull all this together, boundaries aren't keeping others out. They're not like these big steel walls, like, no, 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 I'm behind these big steel walls and I'm keeping everybody out. What they're really about is letting ourselves in, making space for who we are at a core. It's not allowing people to define who you are. You are. I am. I am me. Saying no guilt free is an act of courage and self compassion that allows us to show up fully for the things that matter most.
Yeah.
So I didn't know if Tara had any other comments or questions, or anybody out there had any questions.
Yeah, it's a lot of times people are listening to this at work and they can't really type the messages in, but
Yeah, yeah.
they
Oh,
may
oh,
do that later.
yeah,
But they are planning to watch it later,
yeah.
because this is, they're doing something different time zones, so.
Mhm,
But yeah, Tara, thank you for your commentary, and because it has added to our conversation. And Lisa, thank you for your insights. I was over here writing down some notes,
oh,
which I always
cool.
do. I always want to learn something or really think about something. And the one thing that really stuck with me is two things. You always have a team, because
Mhm,
I'm a solopreneur and I have to
mhm,
remember that I do have others that I have to depend on for some things,
mhm,
just family members, a couple of friends. And then also, when you say, no and these people still, support you, that's because you're building real relationships based on mutual respect.
mhm.
It's not based on, oh, Tara, you're welcome. She says, thank you, Lisa and Teresa. I love it. Thank you, Tara. We love contributing to others. That's why we do what we do. We're similar in our, the way that we want to support other people. There's a, there's,
Absolutely.
there's a lot of struggle and there's a lot of suffering really, in the communities that I'm in, and the country and the world right now.
Mhm,
And rather than add to that, we're like, let's go ahead and inform people about what we know that's
mhm,
helpful, that we've learned through our lives, our mistakes, our training, whatever
mhm,
our background is. And
mhm,
then that way, it's like, because if you're not part of the solution,
mhm,
very there's a possibility you're part of the problem. And sometimes apathy, just saying, I just don't care,
mhm.
is part of the problem, because at least care about yourself, and then it does end up extending out to other people, because it has to start with you anyway.
Absolutely. Oh, so well said, so well said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, did you have any parting things to tell us? Or wait a minute, also, I believe we have a link. You want to tell us what this link is about? Uh, when I post it here. And what is this link to, Lisa?
This is, I've created what's called the boundary script just for you. It's a tool that helps you practice those guilt free no's and use it as a reminder that boundaries are here to, as boundaries are a gift for you and those around you.
Wow,
So,
that's a nice gift. That's a nice.
yeah, so there's some teaching in there. There's my experiences or things, but also some ways that you can say no, and also to journal about what your reflection is about your boundaries. And so I hope everyone enjoys that, and I hope to see them use that and be helpful in their lives.
Well, thank you. Thanks again for, boy, if people really listen to what you say, it can maybe, lift some stress, right? And lift
Mhm.
some stress, just thinking, that's right. I don't have to say yes to everything. And to really think about what that's based on, and not only saying yes to everything, but also being willing to reach out and ask for help. It doesn't mean you're weak. It doesn't mean you're incapable. It means that you don't have to control everything. By the way, really control is kind of it's a mirage. How much control do we really have, right? Um,
Exactly.
because things happen in our lives that we have absolutely no control over. And we trust, at least if you're a believer, you trust in your higher power,
Mhm.
to take those things that you can't do anything about. Thanks for the heart, Tara. And so I'm going to go ahead and, out of respect for people's time, say goodbye. But Lisa, this has been very, very helpful. I think I've heard you talk on a similar topic before, but somehow I got some more out of this. And it's if people really think about what you said, like you said, letting ourselves in when we're setting boundaries, so we're
Mhm.
making space for who we are. If people really hear that, I mean, that could transform an entire community. If half the people really grasped that,
Mhm.
and acted on it, or in some cases said no, which was their way of acting on it, right?
Mhm.
So I'm going to go ahead and close out. And folks, look at that. Whether you're watching this live or you're looking at the recording, go ahead and click, put that link in your browser and go ahead and take advantage of this boundary script. Women need that. Women need that permission, that self permission to draw boundaries. And it actually, it's funny. It's kind of an oxymoron. You're drawing boundaries to make yourself more available, yourself, who you really are, more available. Um,
Yes.
yeah. So,
Love it. Oh, thank you so much, Terise, for having me today. I always love being on your show.
oh, thank you. And I love having you as a guest, which means I may be bothering you again, but that's the way it is. and
I'll be happy to.
and I'm going to go ahead and close out. And everyone have a safe weekend. Please do take care of yourself. There's lots of things going on. Okay, there's scams, there's fraudulent things. Check out things, ask people. Don't be afraid of looking stupid if you ask a question about whether something is legit or not. And so take care of yourself, and also be careful about with whom you interact, and tell yourself that you are more than enough, and we're at birth today, because that's always very empowering. I will talk to you next week. I can't remember who the speaker is, but we'll have someone on for you. And take care.
Thank you. Bye bye.